Okay, we gotta be careful. Gotta be careful. Hello and welcome back to our Duelist adventure. Well, technically, it has now become more of a case of, let us defend this one area for many, many years. No, hopefully that's not how it's going to be. But, anyway, to continue along that thought of, train of thought, shall we say, we're going to be fighting this Empire vassal. What? Where are we? Oh, we're in the village. Oh, this is cool. Alright, it's been a long time since I've actually done any kind of village defense or indeed attack, because the last time that I remember significantly doing a whole bunch of these was in the Bannerlord playthrough, and I very much enjoyed it. I have to say, I very much enjoyed that. I thought it was super fun. But, obviously, we had some problems with file corruption and stuff like that, so obviously that had to end prematurely, which it was a great shame, to be honest, because that was turning out to be one of my favorite series ever, actually. Highly recommend checking it out if you want. There's a playlist in the description. Otherwise, we're going to be moving around here, because apparently I can't go through the water. Apparently there's an invisible wall there that prevents me from going around, which is, well, somewhat unfavorable for us, but I guess going into the water would be even worse. So let's see what's actually happening here. This is kind of weird. I haven't ever come across a village layout similar to this ever before. So this is kind of interesting. Okay, so there's the cavalry. Oh, hello there. Oh, you seem to be very close to me. That's not very nice of you. I will do 1 damage. Very nice. Good work. I will be shot in the shoulder for 4 piercing damage. Not bad. Let's not get killed by this guy. Let's try and do some damage. Nice. Oh, that was a good hit. Oh, take him down. That was with a sword, by the way. Do you notice how much damage we're actually able to deal? That's pretty good. 60 damage against a heavily armored target is almost unheard of at this point. I feel like my one-handed weapon proficiency is really helping to penetrate those higher armor values, because obviously, as I've said before in the series, having a high penetration weapon like a blunt weapon or indeed a piercing weapon is pretty much the only way that you can deal with heavily armored targets for the most part. However, if you have enough base value damage, which is obviously what we have with our one-handed weapons now, I can pretty much use any sword I want. Well, except that, well, most basic swords, of course, because basic swords are obviously not going to do that much damage in comparison to this one that I'm currently using. So, generally, it's a good idea to have a high base attack on your weapon. I'm a little bit worried about this, though. Oh, let's not die. Apparently, all my infantry have now perished, which is unfortunate, to say the least, especially considering I am now going to have to deal with these all by myself, with my archer's assistance, of course. But I did not realize I had so few infantry ready for the fight. Basically went in here a little bit prematurely because I wanted to get this guy out the way. I didn't really want him to raid my village. Oh dear, might be in some problems here. Got a little bit cornered there. Yes, take out that axeman, thank you very much. And there we go. I believe that is indeed a victory for us. We just have 1 enemy remaining. I don't even know who he is. It must be a... oh no, it was just a random tribesman. Oh, okay. I thought it was a cavalry or something like that, but no, there we go. Excellent. Alright, so who did we lose? We lost we lost a Wrath Doombringer? Are you serious? That's pretty bad. Oh well. The remaining units that we lost ended up not being anything too bad, and I'm going to be taking this guy prisoner. As I said before, we're going to mostly be taking people prisoner now, just purely for the fact that it allows us to keep them off the battlefield for an extended period of time. Even if that is just a few days, it can have a decent effect on how strong the enemy turns out to be in the end, because then they can't continually build up their armies and then come and attack us again instantaneously, because that's generally what they tend to do. Alright, so I'm going to put that guy in there, and we're also going to take a look. Anything else? No, these are all tier 4s, so I'm just going to be keeping them in my prisoner's hold right there. And we're going to go through to the trade screen here as well, because what I would like to do is maybe buy some food, if we have any food. Yeah, as you can quite clearly tell, there's not that much food here. That's the reason why someone actually mentioned that I should have bought all the food before declaring war against these guys, because if I'd bought all the food, then it would have made all the sense in the world, because obviously when you start a siege, then food cannot be delivered or supplied from villages or caravans or anything like that into the garrison itself, and as a result, yeah, the town is going to have a bit of a problem with food supplies. So purchasing all of those beforehand makes a big difference to your own supply levels. Anyway, let's take a look at our troops here. I can recruit a couple more people, and I think we do have a couple of level ups as well. Not too many, but a decent amount. And hopefully we're going to be able to convert a couple of people too. Yes, it seems like we can get some of those Ronin. I'm looking forward to seeing how those Ronin develop, because I took a look at their high tier units that they have. Or shall we say that they do become eventually, and they are very, very nice, I gotta say. They look really, really powerful, so I'm looking forward to seeing how they go, and hopefully they're going to be able to survive until that point, because let's face it, they don't have shields or anything like that. So this is basically what I was doing until that guy decided to move past Kasira, and oh, apparently that village is indeed once again now being raided. Yes, they are going to be this annoying, aren't they? Alright, let me just take a quick look at our parties real quick, because I would like to... Yeah, Najun, I believe, is going to have a bit of an issue here. I don't believe Najun is going to rejoin us, because he is indeed busy with a quest. And I don't know why that is. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to make Duane a party, and we're going to see maybe whether he can end up joining us somehow. Not sure how that's going to be, because let's face it, he's very far away. He's in Western Empire territory, or at least I think it is Western Empire territory for the most part, and that is, that's not particularly good, is it? No, that's not particularly good. Anyway, we're going to go on the left side of the village this time around. I find it kind of irritating that they've placed invisible walls here. I'm not entirely sure why they did that, because generally, if you're on a battlefield, you would like to be able to go everywhere that you would want. But obviously, unfortunately right now, it seems as though the water might provide a fatal obstacle for us, and that's the reason why there's an invisible wall there, because they want to try and prevent players from walking into the walking into the water and then just immediately drowning, or some other thing that is going to cause them some issues. So that's the reason why there's an invisible wall there, I assume. I obviously don't know that for certain, but I would assume that that is probably it. Anyway, I'm hopeful that that is going to be removed in future updates potentially, because there being an invisible wall right in the center is not great in my opinion. But I understand what they're trying to do. They're trying to add a little bit more variety to the environments and everything, because let's face it, most environments are desert, trees, grassland, fields, and a couple of marshes here and there. But that's basically it. So them having a body of water in the center of a particular map, that adds a nice lot of variety to the environment, and definitely helps to enrich the atmosphere. Because I personally like this a lot. I like the fact that they've added the greenery around here as well. But you can see here, I can't even walk through this. This is just a natural barrier, which is unfortunate, because I'd like to be able to explore this area more, but maybe I'm just not able to at the moment. We'll see how it goes. Anyway, I'm going to be continuing to get nice influence gains here, and I think I will hopefully have 100 relatively soon, and then I'll be able to hopefully vote for a potential increase in my party size, because obviously that's the thing that I neglected to take when I formed my faction, which is it's a policy called Royal Guard. We found that out in a previous episode, and I definitely should have taken that, but obviously I'm a bit of an imbecile, and I did not realize that that was the one that I needed to take. Noble Retinues I already took, but we are not a tier 5 clan, so that obviously does not really help me out. Oh, the enemy actually died! The enemy actually died. I can't believe it. Wow. Alright, I'm pretty happy with that, actually. I'm pretty happy. Alright, so, this fellow is coming along here, and if we take a look at his composition, you can see quite clearly that he has recruits, tribesmen, soldiers. They're all tier 1, 2, 3, so they're really not going to be putting up too much of a fight, but most of our people are still kind of injured, as you can no doubt tell. We have a lot of archers still available here. Oh, look at that. We actually just gained one of these. It's a Humar Sword Samurai. As you can see right here, their stats are already pretty fantastic. Now, bear in mind, just look at this. Oh yeah, Humar Sword Heroes, and they are 300 in one-handed and two-handed. Wow, that is some craziness right there. I mean, most of these units are really, really cool in my opinion. Yeah, I would love to see more of these, to be honest. That's exactly the reason why once the modding community gets a little bit more hands-on with the modding tools, because I feel like it's only just begun, really, and there's a lot of work going into making all these total conversions and everything like that. But once all of this is a little bit more fleshed out and people get more acquainted with these tools, it's going to be a lot easier for people to create additional features to these things. Like, for example, I know that someone said that the Scum and Villainy mod has the ability to recruit certain units from factions, and I believe Scum and Villainy is actually based upon the framework of Calradia at War, which is actually very interesting to me. I think I read somewhere that that was indeed the case, but obviously it's nice to know that there's a bit of confirmation there. And that basically then means that in the end, when people are a little bit more used to how the modding tools work and everything, they're going to be adding even more of those kinds of features in, where you can actually recruit these units and maybe even start role-playing as, you know, a cultist, a desert cultist, or a northern liberator, or whoever you want to potentially play as. And I think that that is a huge amount of fun. Alright, someone said that I should probably spec into tactics, and I think I agree, actually, because as you can see, it is a learning rate of 0 at the moment. It is pretty awful, so we're going to be increasing that to 1.7, and even though that is a minor increase, that is definitely going to help us out quite a bit. Considering my tactics skill is... Ooh. My tactics skill is definitely something that really does need to level up a little bit, and definitely has the opportunity to level up, so let's just see what I can do here. I don't really want this guy to attack me, to be honest. I would much prefer this guy not to attack. Thank you. Yes, I'd like to get in here as soon as possible if I can. And we're just going to be recruiting some more units, and we're going to be going over to the garrison here. I really wish I had some kind of trainer. That's also a thing that I very much wish was implemented into the base game. I feel like having a trainer for your units in your garrisons would make the most sense. Obviously, there is a mod called Improved Garrisons that does a similar thing, where you can pretty much just say, hey, I'd like you to train these units up, I'd like you to recruit these units, and then they send out trainers and they send out recruiters and so on and so forth, and that's what happens, which I think is actually fantastic. I think it is a great mod, and it adds a huge amount of different features to the game. But obviously, as I said before, kind of wanted to make this series a bit more... Oh. The application faced a problem. We need to collect necessary files to fix this problem. It's a crash. Yes. That's kind of weird, because this is when this... This person is trying to siege us, and immediately it started as, upon the siege beginning. So I'm a little bit worried that we're now going to be in a situation of perpetual crashing if these guys attempt to besiege us over and over. Right. Well, I guess I will be restarting the game then. Alright, so something rather peculiar happened while I was attempting to get back to the point where we were at beforehand, because obviously I don't really like to manually save during the recording, because I either just forget about it, or I generally just like to have a natural, organic progression throughout, and I don't like to, stop for any reason. But anyway, unfortunately, it now meant that I had to go through that fight with Epitheria again, and she did not perish this time. I went into the battle with her, and I managed to take her prisoner, of course, because our combat strength was so dramatically more than hers that we were able to achieve victory once more. However, we weren't able to get her demise to be an absolute certainty, which obviously is a bit of a problem, because we kind of needed that to weaken the Southern Empire a little bit. But apart from that, something interesting happened. This fellow that we're currently fighting at the moment, he decided to besiege Kasira. And you know what happened? No crash. Did not get a crash from it. And I'm not entirely sure why that is. So, unless I can diagnose the issue and try to prevent it from happening again, we are otherwise going to suffer the same fate again and again. So I'm hopeful that that will not happen this time around. Maybe the army in question will decide better of it, or maybe it was just some random thing, because I was taking a look at the patch notes, because there was a small hotfix today, and I am always very skeptical when hotfixes come in, because that means that something's gonna break. Something's gonna break. It's not that I don't have any faith in the developers, but it has been shown that they do tend to make things crash, and mods do tend to then not become compatible, even though it's the same exact version and it's just a hotfix. So generally, something tends to go a little bit belly up, unfortunately. And the hotfix has nothing mentioning sieges whatsoever. It mentions multiplayer, it mentions crashes caused by corrupted save files. I don't have any corrupted save files at the moment, at least. And otherwise, there's just a bunch of other things about quests and something about spouses and heirs and things like that. So basically they said they fixed the crash that occurred after the heir selection process if the spouse was selected as the heir and they were in a fugitive state. I believe that actually happened to me in a previous series. I believe that was the Iron Man Challenge series, actually, where I attempt to survive the world of Calradia with one life and one life only. That means that if I die, if I reach 0 HP, I'm dead and I'm gone, and I should delete the character, or at the very least switch control over to one of my family members. And that's what I attempted to do in that series, but every single time I attempted to do it, I received a crash. But now they have seemingly fixed that problem, because at the time I obviously did not know that it was a part of the it was a problem with the base game. I thought it was a problem with some of the mods that I may have had installed or something like that, but it now appears that it was indeed the base game causing the issues, which I am kind of a bit irritated by, because otherwise it would have been a very interesting series indeed to continue as one of our family members. I think that would have been super fun to do. But now that it's fixed, at least we know that if I do another series of that, which is more than likely, I'm thinking that, I would like to do that again and try to survive longer the next time, and try to do less trading and more, shall we say, less trading, more raiding, yeah? So, if I'd gotten that right the first time, then that would have been quite funny, but obviously I'm completely messed up. Yes, that was great. Very nice indeed, yes. Anyway, less trading, more raiding. That would be pretty good. I think that would be pretty good. Obviously, trading is probably some of the safest ways that you can gain cash in the early game of Bannerlord, so that's the reason why I generally tended to do that, especially considering I only had one life. But it's not very thrilling to watch unless you're into that kind of economic simulation, which I like it quite a bit. I think it is actually a lot of fun and very satisfying to see your money just increase just from doing a very simple thing like purchasing grain at like 7 cost and selling it at 20 or something like that. Just a super simple thing, and seeing your money go up like that, and for you to be able to then afford something really nice like a workshop or a caravan or whatever you want to get is really satisfying in my opinion. But anyway, we can now take this guy prisoner, which is exactly what I'm going to do. And I'm thinking about whether I should take these guys prisoner or not, because here's the thing. If I take all of them prisoner, I'm going to be moving very slowly, but I think I might be really close by. Am I really close by to my town right now? I'm actually not sure. Because here's the thing. If I am not close by and I take these guys, they are going to leave very quickly. Oh, wait a minute. I didn't get any warning. I didn't get any warning about that. That's a bit strange. Okay, I'm not entirely sure why that is. I am moving very slowly, but he escaped immediately. Yeah, that's because I have way too many prisoners, I assume. So, yeah. That is not particularly good. But we have 86 influence now. Look at that. 86 influence. That is actually really nice. That means that, in general, if I just get a little bit more, so if I just win another 2 battles or so, I should be able to then enact the Royal Guard policy, and then I should be able to have even more units in my army, which obviously I'm not even capping out right now, so it makes no sense for me to even worry about it. I'm not capping out at all, but we will eventually be doing that. You know, it's just inevitable that our prisoners will continue to be converted over to our side, and as a result we're going to need the space to accommodate them. So yes, hopefully that's going to work. Anyway, yeah, here's my level up again, because obviously I leveled up before the crash. I will be taking tactics again, and I'm actually going to save right now because I am a little bit worried about having another crash. As I've said before, I generally only will do any kind of manual saving if there is a technical problem, but otherwise I usually will not, just in case. Don't really want to lose a huge amount of progression, because if I had saved after that fight with Epiphyria, then she wouldn't be languishing in our prisoner's tower at the moment, and instead she would just be saying hello in the afterlife, and that's it. That's all that it would be. So, yeah, so now she's going to be a continuous thorn in our side, unfortunately. Oh, it seems like we have another person coming by here. Very nice. Hello there. Alright, let's have a look. Decent units. Not too bad. Quite a wide spread, actually. Quite a wide spread of units, so we should be a little bit careful here. But let's take a look at the combat strength. No doubt the combat strength is going to tell us much more about what she's actually all about. We're moving at 4.9, but she seems to be slowing down for some reason. I'm not entirely sure. We seem to be moving at the exact same pace. But anyway, we're just going to be going in there, because that's what we do. You know, we're trying to thin out the Empire as much as possible, try to reduce the individual strengths of their armies, and that is pretty much the strategy that I am attempting to use here. Obviously, that's the only one that I can really use, because if I try to take one of the nearby fiefs at the moment, it's just going to end in failure almost immediately, because otherwise, basically, I don't know whether you can notice what I'm doing, but pretty much, I'm going to my town, I'm recruiting troops from there, even if they are just recruits, I'm recruiting them nevertheless. And then what I'm doing is I'm going out, trying to kill as many vassals as I can, trying to destroy their armies, and that's pretty much it. But if I didn't do that, and if I just left my garrison in the way that it is at the moment, which is very lightly defended, then what's going to happen? Well, a medium strength, to high strength vassal, even just a single one, will come along and decide to besiege it. And then we'll lose the only foothold that we have, and then, well, then we're out on a limb, because we've got to continue that particular siege, whatever it may be, to be able to even continue existing. So that's the issue. We can't really take that chance. Okay, we've got to be careful. Gotta be careful. Oh no, it's another one of these guys. He's gonna go bonk on my face, isn't he? Oh no. Yeah, it's one of those guys with his massive mace. And he's going to do massive damage, and we don't really want that, thank you very much. So we're going to have to be a little bit careful about him. Maybe I can attack him from behind. He seems to be almost supernatural in his defensive capabilities, though. Gotta say that. He does seem to be very, very strong. Where is he? Is he still alive? No, I think he might be dead now. Okay, well that's good, at least. We seem to be doing surprisingly well. Ah, wait a minute. I almost jinxed myself right there. Did you see that? Yes. The jinx came in and I almost died. There we go. Okay. One more up here. Oh, he's getting murdered. Oh, loads of damage coming in. Loads of damage coming in from our archers. That was nice. Alright, so I believe that is indeed a victory for us. I'm actually surprised that we only lost such a small amount of units. I would have expected much more with the combat strength balance that was currently present in this particular fight. But we gained 12 influence, which is fantastic. I will be taking her prisoner as well. I'll take all the prisoners too, even though she's probably going to escape as a result of this. But I would much rather have the raw units. Oh, actually... this is going to take me a long time to get back here. Right. What we're going to do first is we're just going to convert a number of units so that we don't end up losing a whole bunch from them just being over capacity. And then we're going to see what we can do. Because I think what I'll try to do is I'll get rid of the high tier units. And I'll just keep the ones that are slightly lower tier. I know I could sell this. I could sell these for a lot of money. But obviously... I mean, I'm doing pretty well on money right now, and you can see here that my wages are not even that dramatic, so I should be able to survive reasonably well with just a basic amount of cash and cash income as well. I don't even need to really worry about it. So I think I can leave that. How many am I over? Not even that much, really. Not even that much. But it is going to cause a little bit of... shall we say, splitting off, and I wouldn't be surprised if our newly acquired prisoner is also going to have a somewhat running away effect in just a second, but hopefully we'll be able to make it to the prisoner tower in time. I'm actually surprised that no one has come over here. Ah, hello. Yes, there we go. There's another one. Alright, so let's go into the dungeon here. This is actually a larger army than I anticipated as well. This is actually not good. I was thinking that it would be the other guy's army because he was running around with about 600 units, and I thought to myself, oh yeah, you know what? I might be able to deal with 600 units if we have the advantage of being the defenders. And that makes sense, no? I feel like that makes sense. But anyway, I'm just going to be placing a whole bunch of relatively low tier units in here because I'm not really wanting these guys to join my army at the moment. I want to have as many high tier units in my army as I can possibly get. So placing tier 3s, tier 2s in here. That's pretty much my only option at this point. And we're going to be keeping some of the cavalry as well. Imperial trained archers can go, but we'll leave the rest. These guys become legionaries eventually, so I'll keep them too. And now we're going to save, because I am worried that this big army is going to cause a crash once again. So let's see whether that indeed happens. If it does, then I'm not entirely sure what to do, but I am a little bit injured, so it would be nice to get a little bit of extra time to restore ourselves. How's my wall doing, by the way? I can't even tell. Wait a minute, let me go into the manage town screen. There we go. This is hopefully going to tell me what my wall strength is. Does it not tell me? Ah, I have level 3. No? Do I have level 3 walls? Yes, I think I have level 3 walls. So that is actually fantastic. That's pretty good. And this is going to take 18 days. It's only been 11 days since I created my faction. That's actually insane. Alright, so let's get a siege workshop up and running. Yeah, by the way, if you can hear that in the background, that's basically fireworks. Because obviously, you know, there's a bunch of fireworks going off. Alright, we're going to actually get some more militia. Because I personally feel like getting more militia is going to be quite important. Oh, there's the crash. Right, so there seems to be a crash whenever I join a siege defense. I know this is going to be extremely disappointing to a lot of you, and it's disappointing to me as well, because I've wanted to do a siege defense for a very long time, but I am getting this message every single time this happens, and I'm not entirely sure what to do. I guess, I mean, I don't even know what is causing this problem, because my mods, you can see my mods in the description, by the way, and also my mod load order, and I'm not using anything that interacts with the siege mechanics of the game, so I'm not entirely sure what is causing this. Maybe I just have to verify game cache or something like that, but I think for now I will be ending this episode off here. Unfortunately, I very much wanted to defend against this guy, but, well, that's how it goes, isn't it? I thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.